Hey guys, it's V. It's been a few weeks since I've made a video, as some of you have pointed out to me, so I'm excited to kind of catch up on some decks that I just got in, things I've been working on and reading. I'll start out with, this is a deck that I mentioned in the last video, Whispers of the Lord Ganesh, and I was comparing it with a couple of other oracles, and I realized that's like comparing apples and oranges. A couple of my friends left messages and some subscribers and talked about their view of the deck, and so I started working with it as a daily draw. And wow, it was the deck I needed at that time, because I've gone through a period where I just felt stagnant. Like I hit a wall with making my deck, I hit a wall with moving forward in a lot of areas, and this, not only is it a beautiful deck, but that's what this deity is all about, is breaking through obstacles. So what I found by working with it on a daily basis and really digging into it, this is a very strong, empowering deck, and it actually got me interested in I wanted to try to find a tarot that went into Indian mythology and all that, and I did. I found one, and it's the Sacred India Tarot. This book is amazing, and here's the back of the deck. Here's some of the cards. It's great, like smooth linen feel cardstock. They're beautiful. What I really like about it is the majors are different gods and goddesses, but each of the minors tells a different story. Like the discs is the path of Buddha. And it's like the Mythic Tarot. How the Mythic Tarot, each suit tells a different story in Greek mythology. And it's really cool because not only do you get the meaning of that card, but there's a whole context around it, you know, where it's at the story and what's going on around it. And I don't know of another deck that does it as well as this, other than the Mythic Tarot. There's other decks that do it. The Alice deck by Baba Studios, if you they still have some of the, not a lot, but they still have some of the standard size. If you get it, it's worth it to get the guidebook, the extra guidebook that goes with it. What I like about that is at the end of the book, there's an abridged version of Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, and they insert the cards as they appear in the story. And I wasn't as familiar with Through the Looking Glass, and it gave me that feel. They're not in order like they are with the Sacred India and the Mythic Tarot. You know, it's just all scattered around, but it does show where they fit in, where each card fits in the story, and I love that. I just got Sherlock Holmes Tarot, and it does that as well. And it tells about, you know, where that scene was in what story, but it doesn't do it in order either. The Prism of Visions does it aesthetically. Each suit makes a panorama, but that's just looks. So that got me interested in some new decks. And then I got this in finally, Mythical Creatures. I love it. Hey. And what I love is that this limited edition was made and packaged like the Alice limited large edition was. This deck isn't as large as the large Terra Prague and Alice, but it's beautiful. But it's a little larger than their standard card. You've got this beautiful hinged box, and I love the bag it comes in. It's just gorgeous. So there are other reviews out there. There's 4 extra cards. That dragon, that's from that's in the Queen of Wands. That's this from the Star card. That guy is in the Fool card, and that's the title card. And there was one more. Oh yeah, she's from the Queen of Pentacles. and there's a extra card. The minors are pippish, but they're beautiful. They're very ornate. I think it's beautiful. I'm interested in what the version in color is going to look like. They sent a holiday card with it. If it's colored like that, it's going to be beautiful. So, and it does come with a little white book that has a couple spreads, but it also goes through each of the mythical creatures that are used in the deck throughout the trumps and the court cards. And I love it. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. That's what the backs look like. So, and I'm so glad that they packaged it more like they did Alice. I mean, I've got the Tarot of Prague, and my box was fine, but some people had a problem with the box, and I used the scarf to actually wrap the cards in. And if you do that, you have to press down the insert and tape it to be able to fit it in. But I mean, the scarf is absolutely gorgeous, and I use it to wrap the deck in. And look at the deck. Can we just appreciate this deck for a moment too? I love Baba Studios. But as much as I like this deck, I do like the packaging better on the mythical creatures. And the first thing I do when I get a deck is I put it in order, and the 10 of Wands was missing. So I emailed Karen, and I mean, within a half an hour, she emailed me back saying, I'm sorry that happens. Sometimes we put them together by hand, and she has one coming right out to me. So that's awesome. She's come through for me before. When I lost a couple of the cards from my Bohemian Gothic, the silver overlay edition, it broke my heart, because that is my favorite edition of Bohemian Gothic. I have the Victorian Romantic with the gold overlay, but it's a lot more subtle. I like the silver in the Bohemian Gothic, but I misplaced two of the majors, and she was able to find them. She wasn't sure. She said, I can't promise, but I'll look. It's been a while, but she was able to find them both, and I was just so amazed. So, yeah, so I got that deck in, and I also, someone who finished a deck that I was very happy about. How do you say that? Troinfi Della Luna? I'm going to butcher a lot of words tonight. So he made a majors deck, Patrick Valenza, the guy that did Deviant Moon. And he made it, and I don't usually get majors only decks, but he mentioned at the time, and deck's 333, so he called it, and he said he was going to finish the deck, but then he made different colors. There's the regular, then there's the purple, paradoxal, and then Italian, and then the rose. So here's the Fool in the different colors. And I love his artwork, and the backs are all varied with that too. And before this deck, the minors, came out, he had a couple cool decks, actually, art decks. Like this one I just opened today. I didn't even realize I'd never opened it. And like, it's got sayings on the backs, but it came with a little Ouija board card. But like, this is like a little darker than his other art deck, but it's really cool. Completely different than his other art deck. And then there's like these sayings on the back. The other art deck, I got this card with the book, the companion book. Huge, beautiful companion book he made, and it's got the same backing as the Deviant Moon, but this is his paradoxal art deck. Front and back, they're all different, and I know they're kind of creepy, but they're mesmerizingly beautiful to me. I love his artwork. If he puts out something, I have to get it. So I had all of these, and then finally, he came out with the full deck in 2 different versions, regular and the paradoxal. You can, if you already have the minors, the majors, you can buy just the minors and get a bigger box. But I went ahead and got the set of each. And this one shuffled through because my client and I were playing with them. And I had that upside down. The minors are Marseille inspired, but with his flair. And then there were like 10 art cards. And there's an alternate devil card and an alternate tower card. So I love it. I think it's a gorgeous deck. So that's the regular one, and then here's the paradoxal. And it's the same deck, but with the coloring. It looks like a superimposed or negative or something. I love his stuff. Aren't those cool? So, yeah. And then let's get to some of the, I'm going to be able to find them. There's the art cards. Here we go. So, that's, that just came in. That one just came in today, actually. And then, let's see, the last one, the new one that I got. Aw, it came untied. Okay, another one I'm going to butcher. Tabula Mundi Tarot. By the maker of the Rosetta Tarot, which I have on the way, the one in a tin. But I got this deck. And I love the detail, the little white book. It's white embossed. And here's the box. It's very well made. What I really liked is the ribbon at the bottom. The thick satin ribbon to lift them out instead of the usual ribbon that goes across. Here's the backing of the decks. Isn't that funky? I love that. And it's a beautiful deck. Here's my favorite card, the 4 of Cups. That's my card of ennui. And I think it portrays it perfectly. When I see the 4 of Cups, it's like telling me to look at what I have and appreciate what I have. Because this sense of lacking something, if you kind of buy into that and don't appreciate what you have, you might end up doing something you regret and end up in the 5 of Cups. So that always just tells me to look around and appreciate what I have, instead of feeling as if I'm lacking something. And I really like this deck. It's much more esoteric deck than I usually lean towards, but I really want to study this deck and get to know it. It's more than just a pretty deck. There's a lot to it, and I'm infatuated with it right now. So that is basically the decks that I just got in, the decks I'm working on, the decks I'm excited about. There is a book, Elise at Wild Moon Woman. She talked about getting this book, and after seeing it on hers, it's Tarot at a Crossroads. It's the unexpected meeting of tarot and psychology. I got it off Amazon as soon as I saw it, and I have been devouring this book. It showcases a bunch of different decks, and it has all these different exercises, and it is exactly what it says. And I've been waiting for a book like this forever, and because I'm very interested in the psychological aspect of reading. And this, both the authors are doctors who also do tarot, and they've been to the Reader Studio and to Bats, and this book is just amazing. And I hope to see more books like this in the future. I'm so looking forward to Reader Studio. I'm looking forward to the whole thing, but I think the Thursday with the psychology classes, I think that's just going to be awesome. I can't wait. Going in the other direction, though, I don't know how many of you guys have Hulu, or if you've caught this new show of theirs called Shut Eye. And shut-eye is a term that is used for a mentalist or illusionist or a reader who starts to believe that they actually are psychic or have magical powers or something like that. And the guy that's in the show was in Burn Notice, and I like him. Donovan? Jeffrey Donovan? I'm not sure, but he's the same guy in Burn Notice. And in this show, he's a failed magician that comes from Vegas and goes to LA and is a psychic tarot card reader. But it exemplifies everything we rail against as readers. I mean, there's such a they stereotype gypsies, and they're all con artists. They're all of them. There is not a redeeming character that I can think of in the show. I watched them all. There's 10 episodes, and each episode is named after a tarot card. And, okay, the sun might be the only redeemable character. But I got caught up in it, and I watched it. But what's amazing to me is in one episode, he's actually reading cards, reading the lady's cards. But he's already done background work on her and knows things about her that she doesn't know. And the way he explains how the tarot cards work and as he's going through card by card, he's nailing it, you know, and that is what the card means. I've never seen tarot used so much, but he's using it to gain her trust for a bigger con, you know, and it's like the Sopranos of tarot cards, you know. It's so bad, but I watched them all. So if any of you have seen any of them, if you watched it all the way through or you couldn't get through the first couple ones, I'd be interested to know if anyone else watched that show. The other deck I did get in was the Tarot of Transformation. I've seen it on Kaja. I liked when she showed it, one of her videos, and it's so gorgeous. I was not going to trim this deck. I liked the keywords. I really liked their take on the deck, but as you can see, it's trimmed, and I have I put the titles at the bottom with a gold Sharpie. I had no intention of trimming the deck, but this is by far the thinnest cardstock I've ever felt. And there was an incident with a glass of wine, and it just like decimated the edges of the deck, so I had to trim it. I've spilled wine on plenty of decks and they've survived, but this just like started to disintegrate. So I trimmed it, and I haven't finished backing them, but I'm backing them in. This is the first contact paper that isn't Contact brand that I've used. It's a brown linen. It's very textured. It's a little thicker than Contact paper is, but that's okay with cardstock this thin. And I like the way it looks. And you can tell in the center there, I'm alternating a gold and a bronze Sharpie on the edges. Kelly in The Truth and Story was talking about her medicine cards and how thin they are. This would be a perfect contact paper for that. I think that'd be great. So I'll show that deck once it's all finished. And I do have ones that I'm planning. Hopefully I'll be able to do a few more videos this week in between working on my deck, which I really hope we can have the print out the first proof of the deck to see, you know, what's working and what's not. And when I get those nailed down, I can show you some of them. But I do know that my goal for it is, after the first initial deck, is to make supplement packs. And you can get the supplement packs if you like, but just different alternate versions of the card. But instead of having to buy a whole new deck with every little change. And that way, eventually, with enough supplement packs, you can like build the deck exactly the way you want it. But I got to get the initial deck done first. So hopefully that will be, I've had some real breakthroughs with that. So hopefully that'll be soon. So I'm looking forward to comments, hearing what you guys are up to. And I'll hopefully have a couple more videos out within the next few days. So I hope you guys are having a good holiday season, enjoying yourself, and I will talk to you later. See ya.